13 News at 5 begins with breaking news north of us in Madison County.
And that is where there's a search right now for a missing teen who may be in extreme danger. The Madison County Sheriff's Office is sharing these pictures. This is 13-year-old Gavin Parkey. Gavin is nonverbal and autistic. He was last seen around 8 o'clock this morning on a trail camera in the 4700 block of East County Road 1000 North.
So please keep an eye out. We're told he was wearing a gray shirt with black shorts. We're told that he does have a tendency to wander toward murky water, and he will not respond to his name or walk toward anyone calling for him. So if you do see him, the sheriff says keep your eyes on him and call 911.
Hopefully we can get that little boy back home.
Hopefully.
Yeah. A local empowerment group for boys is taking action after 2 teens died in the downtown Indianapolis mass shooting.
Yes, that happened over the weekend, and today at their summer camp, they got a really big surprise. It came from local police officers who want to help make some real change in our community and have it pay off for generations. Samantha Johnson was there.
Outside the Great Commission Church of God,
may you continue to protect these young men.
Dozens of young boys pray with police for peace
And show them the righteous path to be on.
This is Young Men Inc.'s 31st Summer Empowerment Camp, keeping boys off the streets and engaged in the community. And Thursday, NDFOP President Rick Snyder stopped by.
I think there's a lot of power when we all know that we collectively are in this together.
The camp has been around for nearly 4 decades, partnering with police all along. But after a violent weekend in Indy,
That cannot continue.
these young men are weighing in.
We see all this stuff on social media and video games, and we think it's normal, and it's too normalized nowadays.
Like, they don't stop when they see guns, they just use it, and they want to hurt people.
And Nehemiah and Samuel aren't alone. Each hand is someone they know hurt or killed by violence.
That's very tough to see, but it's our reality. And now more than ever, we need our community to step up.
Everybody's asking, what can we do? This is something that can be done that truly makes a difference.
The NDFOP donating $5,000 to help more than 50 young men this summer, practicing and promoting peace through faith, education, and activity.
If you see something bad going on in your community and you want to make a change, make the change.
If that trend continues to go, passing it down, our world would be a better place.
A better place for what Metro Police called the future of our city. Little smiles and little thumbs making a big difference. In Indianapolis, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
And we're told that donation is going to help pay for the group's upcoming college tour. They're headed a little bit to the east to Akron, Ohio. You can get connected with Young Men Inc. right now by heading to our website at WTHR.com. Angela?
Anne Marie, the official high temperature is in at 90 degrees this afternoon. It's currently 89 in Indianapolis after that high of 90. 88 Shelbyville. We have 90 in Seymour and Bedford. But check out Bloomington at 77. They are actually rain cooled. Had just a handful of pop-up showers pop up today as expected. Not a lot on radar, but there's the one cell pushing just east of Bloomington for now staying north of Lake Monroe as this tracks off to the east-southeast. So a pop-up still possible this evening, otherwise a warm and muggy evening. If you're coming downtown, baseball at Victory Field, 7:05 first pitch. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s. We're going to be close to 90 on Friday and again on Saturday, but storm chances do start to increase. I'll cover that in the 7-day.
All right, Angela, we'll check back. In the meantime, an update on a developing story tonight. Indiana Attorney General Toddler says that a man arrested for a repeat crime in Bloomington is an illegal immigrant.
He also claims the Monroe County Sheriff ignored a request by ICE to keep the man in jail. Our Ashton Hackman's been following the case for us and talked with the AG just a couple hours ago about the new developments today.
So, Ashton, what have you learned?
Yeah, well, we actually just got a statement from the Monroe County Sheriff himself just within the last half hour. He says, the sheriff, that there was not an ICE detainer on file, and ICE only asked to be notified before the man was released. Now, you might remember this is a story we first told you about yesterday. 39-year-old Manuel Lopez. This man is accused of trying to rape a woman last Wednesday on a trail in Bloomington. He was let out of jail in February after striking a plea deal in a similar case from last summer. This morning, Rokita posted to X claiming the sheriff ignored the ICE detainer request. He said this new case should have never happened.
We have a guy that was already arrested and convicted, pleaded guilty to violent crime against women, and now has done the same thing again.
Right now, Rokita still has a lawsuit against the Monroe County Sheriff's Office for their policy when it comes to detaining illegal immigrants. Again, the sheriff said ICE only asked to be notified when Lopez was getting released. He was in jail for 222 days from his arrest last July until his sentencing in February. Now, there is a lot to the story. We'll have more from Rokita and all of this ahead at 6.
Thank you, Ashton. And a man is under arrest tonight facing a preliminary charge of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. And this was in a crash with a tractor.
So this crash happened around 5:40 this morning, just southwest of Bloomington. The sheriff's deputies in Monroe County now tell 13 News that that's where the driver of a Dodge Ram hit the back of a tractor.
They say the crash pinned the man driving the tractor and he could not move. He is now hospitalized in Bloomington.
Tonight, an Indianapolis grandfather is charged with neglect of a dependent after investigators say his 2-year-old granddaughter ingested THC gummies while in his care. And they say he told them he didn't think that she needed medical care.
Newly released court documents state a teenager called 911 around noon Tuesday after the little girl would not wake up. Investigators say another child in the house told them the toddler ate 2 THC gummies around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Metro Police then talked to the grandfather.
Officers say he told them that he thought they only contained CBD, but then later said he knew they had THC. However, they said he later admitted to knowing that, yes, they did have THC.
A U.S. Supreme Court justice was in Indy this afternoon.
The court's newest member, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, was in town to talk about her memoir and how she ascended to the highest court in the land.
13 Investigates reporter Sierra Putman was there.
Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson spent about an hour speaking to this group of people here at the Indiana Convention Center, about 1,000 members of Indianapolis's legal community. The Indianapolis Bar Association says this is its first event with a sitting justice. The majority of the conversation focused on Justice Jackson's memoir, Lovely One, before turning to her work on the High Court. She says often the justices have similar opinions, but Justice Jackson is gaining attention for writing direct, unflinching opinions and dissents. Recently, she opposed the majority decision to block universal injunctions concerning potentially unconstitutional laws or executive orders. She also opposed the decision that expanded presidential immunity.
What keeps you up at night?
I would say the state of our democracy. I would say that I am really very interested in getting people to focus and to invest and to pay attention to what is happening in our country and in our government.
The justice encouraged people to actually visit the court and to pay attention to what's happening in our country right now. Sierra Putman, 13 Investigates.
At the Indiana State House, there has been a big push to eliminate DEI from Indiana state government.
And now we're getting our first look at the result of this push. Logan Gay broke down a new report just issued by the governor's office.
Indiana Governor Mike Braun has said in the past he wants to run the state like a business. His next step, fulfilling his goal to replace DEI with what he called merit, excellence, and innovation. But a DEI expert says you can't run a successful business without DEI.
We have to be mindful of the fact that DEI is good for business. Research continues to show that when we talk about where people want to go, they want to go to a place where they feel seen, heard, valued, and respected.
The governor's executive order directed state agencies to review their DEI positions, departments, activities, procedures, and programs for compliance with that decision. Through that process, his office said they found more than 350 examples of DEI initiatives in state government programs. They eliminated 70 cases of DEI training for state employees. They modified or ended some grants that focus on education and healthcare. And they opened up 34 state agency grants to all Hoosiers that were conditioned on diversity, equity, and inclusion. inclusion. In a statement from a press release, the governor called DEI divisive and a politically charged ideology. Andrew Adeniyi said people need to broaden the scope of what they think is diversity because all people fall under this umbrella.
We still know that women aren't getting paid as much as men in this country, right? That's important work, especially when we talk about retention and engagement. That's DEI work.
In a statement from his press release, Governor Braun said the goal of his Merit, Excellence, and Innovation initiative is for every single Hoosier to have the chance to get ahead with hard work. Andrew said that's a common misconception of DEI. He says it's not the opposite of hard work, it's the definition.
But we have to be mindful of the myths out there, such as this person only got the job because of their skin color. No, if anything, because they were able to get that job despite their skin color, they're probably really a rock star, right? They had to overcome a lot of barriers to even get that job and keep that job and perform well in the role as well.
In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
In West Lafayette, the City Council approves a resolution supporting care for people in the trans community.
How they'll put that support into action with state laws limiting care. That's at 5:30. Angela?
Felicia, 90 degrees today officially, and it's going to be a hot weekend. I'll have the numbers and storm chances.
And volunteers now continue to descend into Central Texas after last week's tragic flooding there.
The difference they're making in the search effort next.